This is a story about the Bible and truth. More precisely, it's about biblical antiquities and how they can be seen to prove that the stories told in the Bible really happened. 5 years ago, the world of biblical archaeology was rocked to its foundations, and all because of a box. It was a stone box discovered in Israel and called an ossuary. Ossuaries were used to hold the bones of the dead some 2,000 years ago, that is, in the time of Jesus. And this ossuary is said to hold the bones of Jesus' brother, James. The discovery created more excitement among Christian scholars than anything since the Shroud of Turin. And like the shroud, no sooner was it unveiled than charges of forgery surfaced. The box is made of limestone. It's not terribly large, but it attracted a very large crowd, over 100,000 when it was first exhibited. It made the New York Times and the cover of Biblical Archaeology Review. New Testament scholar Ben Witherington, who wrote a book about the box, was at that first exhibit.
Well, there was a lot of excitement. There was the atmosphere was kind of palpable, really, and we got there, and there were various of us just sort of buzzing around this exhibit.
Actually, ossuaries are quite common. The Israel Antiquities Authority keeps hundreds here in its basement. What was so special about this one? The mysterious engraving on its side, sort of a Da Vinci Code in stone. It's written in ancient Aramaic, and it reads, James, son of Joseph, brother of Jesus. The first question, could this box have contained the bones of the man the Gospels mention as Jesus' brother?
If it can be proven, it's probably one of the most important archaeological discoveries of the century.
Steve and Claire Fan are scholars of early Christianity based in the Holy Land.
Okay.
They believe the ossuary is the first firm archaeological evidence that Jesus once lived here.
And that is really a great thing, just to be able to confirm from an extra-biblical source that a man named Jesus existed.
The idea that Jesus had a brother at all is a bone of contention. Many Catholics believe Mary was a lifelong virgin, so James could not have been a blood brother. Either way, after the crucifixion, James became the first bishop of Jerusalem. He died, it is written, in 62 AD when he was stoned by an angry mob and fell from the walls of the Holy Temple. The way things were done back then, his body would have been put in a cave, and a year later, when the flesh was gone, his bones would have been placed in an ossuary. So far, so good. And it gets better. Archaeologists agree that the box is genuine and that it dates from the time of James and Jesus. Statisticians say the odds against it being anyone other than the James and Jesus are enormous. 2 Israeli geologists gave it their stamp of approval. But some experts felt they couldn't render a definitive verdict because it was put on public display so quickly, they didn't have time to study it. A prominent historian said the language of the inscription was too perfect, too pat. Some epigraphers, script experts, said the two halves of the inscription don't match. The beginning, James, son of Joseph, is straight, the letters formal. But the end, brother of Jesus, is uneven, and the letters are different. In other words, the words brother of Jesus may have been added by a forger. The question comes up because the ossuary was not dug up at an authorized excavation like this one, where every shard is scrutinized by scholars. Like most so-called antiquities, it just turned up in the shop of an antiques dealer, which is another way of saying it was looted.